I recently mentioned in one of my videos that I was rediscovering this book, Big Magic, as a part of my big art year. And it got me thinking a lot about creativity again. I think that at our core, we're all driven to create. We come out wanting to create in this world as I think it's like a base instinct. I know some of my earliest memories are of drawing. In fact, one of my most precious memories is when I was a little child. My mom showing me how to draw, how to basically color within the lines in a coloring book, and being so focused and fascinated by her instructions. And that's like a precious, precious memory to me. Of course, I'm visually driven, and not everybody is visually driven. So we change over times, and some of you may not be as visually driven maybe as I am, and I may not be as visually driven as others. I know I excel visually, and I struggle with math. Now, I love facts. I love all kinds of information on history and science and botanical stuff. As you know, I get to go outside and play around with landscapes, and I'm actually interested in the details. I've taken botanical classes in college on identifying certain local species, and all that stuff I really love. But visually, everything's like really on point. I have a lot of my memories that are visual, but sometimes it's really hard for me to recall what the name of anything is. But as human beings, some of our very earliest things that we ever created were images on cave walls and on all types of any kind of surface that we could sketch or draw on to make a memory of our events, our lives, special moments, a big hunt. It could be even intentions of achieving a hunt. There was a spiritual aspect to cave painting back in the day when we were very, very basic human beings, and we went through a period of time where we really didn't even have a language. In fact, images predate modern language or any language at all. When languages did start to get developed, often there was imagery within the language itself. Like when you think about the Egyptian hieroglyphs, a lot of the images are of people and animals and things like feathers, objects, identifiable objects when you look at old hieroglyphics. And of course, over time, all those images started transforming and changing into symbols and then into modern language. I'm no expert, but in my meanderings, especially loving history, I used to really love Egyptian history, and I learned a lot about it and even got to go to Egypt when I was young. So I think it's very interesting when you start looking at those things. And it gives a whole new dimension when you go and you visit places and you actually see the reality of time. We did those things in order to communicate. We were driven to create and draw and sketch and represent our world, our lives, as a way to tell a story. And we're still doing that today, except for some of us are, more inclined to do different things or more driven to do other things. In fact, you may not be actually into sketching as much as you are maybe crocheting or playing a guitar or something. So we all have creative aspects, but I think it starts all at drawing and symbology and representing who we are. But of course, we had to get away from painting on the walls and tablets, and eventually, over time, we actually started drawing and painting on the hides of animals. And then eventually, we finally discovered a way to make paper with local resources. Like in Egypt again, they used papyrus, which was a plant that that goes along the river Nile. It's a water plant, kind of like cattails. Here in America, we have cattails growing all along water bodies. I think they're slightly invasive, but in Egypt, papyrus is a natural plant that is plenty. At least it used to be. I'm not sure what modern day Egypt still has. I don't know the health of the river, whether or not it still grows papyrus very well. But they found a way to use the papyrus to break it down and weave it and do different things, pound it, and finally make it into a surface so they could actually draw on. And so we have a lot of those ancient records, which again preserves the history. That's what all of this does. Our creativity preserves our history, our culture, and it communicates to all the people that will come after us. Now we're in the midst of modern technology, and some people may think it's too late or we're too far past all of that. We're too far past really the necessity of drawing. Why should you need to draw if you have an iPad or a stylus or some type of a fancy device to actually draw? But to me, all that digital stuff seems very fleeting. It seems so easily deleted and forgotten, where it seems like some things, obviously, through time, has lasted. Now it's going to not last forever. I mean, my gosh, even the pyramids of Egypt will eventually go away. There's all sorts of ancient things that have been created throughout time that have now disappeared, but yet we have word of them or drawings or paintings of them. Now to me, but to me, all that digital stuff seems very fleeting. Like it could be so easily deleted and forgotten, where it seems like obviously we still have papyrus, some linen paintings and things that are still around. So they still have a legacy. And obviously that's part of probably the reason why I know I am driven to paint and draw is A, to express myself, and B, to leave maybe a legacy of my expression of the world that I live in. And of course, there is the psychological benefits of creativity. No matter what you choose to do, it obviously reduces stress. And in a more complex world, we need as much stress reduction as possible. There's certainly a great deal of problems with anxiety and depression and so on. So I feel that the more that we make sure that we spend time with ourselves honing those creative skills, and of course here it's all about drawing and painting and working in sketchbooks, I think all those things help you deal with the world and all the different or difficult moments that we all live in. So the demo that I've been sharing today is this painting. It's actually a snippet of a classical piece, but it's in oil, although I messed up my copy here. And then I was just trying to duplicate it as best I could in watercolor, just for play. I do like doing master copies, but not doing a whole master copy, but maybe just something that catches your eye, something that you like. I used my Schminky palette today to work in that. But what I did was, this was watercolor, basically using like a glazing technique where I did all sorts of layers because I was trying to get it as close as I could. It's still slightly off, and you're not really going to be able to duplicate oil paintings exactly, so it was just a bit of fun. And there's still things I could dink with it, but I think this is as far as I'm gonna take it today. I wasn't even planning on doing that much of the lace work, but I did. The earring was really fun. I liked that pearl, trying to get it to represent as much as possible like the real thing, which I think I got, you know, aside from it being a lot cooler over here, I didn't get my values quite that dark, but I'm still happy with it for the most part. The ear needs a little bit more redness, but again, this was just a copy just for fun. And yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Her eye was a lot of fun too, to be honest with you. The earring and the eye are probably like my two favorite things, and maybe that little curl was kind of fun as well. The eye has a lot of shadows and blue tones as the eye shifts, because it's a sphere basically. Your eyeball is a sphere, and so it catches pieces of the light and it gets into warm and cools as it turns away and towards the light. And same thing with the pearl and the little diamond. I could have gotten to a lot more detail on the diamond as well. The little, it's almost like a bluish diamond. I don't know if it's a full diamond or maybe it's just partially in the shadows, but I really enjoyed it. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed today's little chat and today's little demo. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.